he's basically like, I voted for Trump. These tariffs are killing me as a small business owner. I need some help. Some Democrats in the comments are trolling him, of course, and someone commented like, I love this for you, and the Trumper replied via video, and he was like, oh, you love this for me, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck did you expect? We told you this, and we got called elitist. We told you the impact tariffs have on the economy, and you were like, you guys think you're so smart? This is basic knowledge. So the guy makes the video back, and he's like, I knew Trump was gonna tariff. I thought it would push people to build in the USA. I'm gonna explain this to you like you're 5. Have you ever watched Shark Tank, okay? And a product's on there, and the sharks go, why is it so expensive? And the person goes, it's made in the USA. Why do you think they say that? Why do you? Everything's more expensive in the United States. That's why we get things internationally. And as a small business owner, I'm surprised you don't know that. You didn't think this would start a trade war, huh? Like last time? And last time was significantly less than all the tariffs he's doing this time. Like, you don't get to play victim, okay? You were warned, you ignored it. Now you're paying the consequences for voting without knowing how things work.
I did vote for Trump, and now I will deal with the aftermath of the tariffs. I compared 2024 first quarter to 2025 first quarter. I am down 70%. I'm not willing to say that that's due to the decisions of the administration yet, because my business does run in cycles. When it comes to the items that I import directly from China, like the pens, pencils, coffee mugs, keychains, calculators, that's all been affected immediately. I also had a quote for rubber ducks that I was working on, 5,000 rubber ducks. And my unit cost went from below 30 cents to just below 50 cents overnight. Consequently, that order of ducks is on hold. I also have 10,000 poker chips on hold. I have 2,000 hats on hold. This is all merchandise I could be selling right now. Yes, I do have some investments that are down, which is affecting me on the personal side. Now we're not sure which direction we want to go.
We have some.
Hi guys, so thank you for watching my videos. Of course, today we're talking about how small businesses in America have been affected as a result of the tariffs that were imposed. So some business people have literally closed down their shops, others have been forced to raise their prices, and customers are complaining because the prices have gone high and some people cannot afford some stuff. What's going to happen to the normal American who literally depends on their paycheck to paycheck to buy grocery in the supermarket or to pay their bills while the prices have gone high? Remember, the salaries that people are earning are still stagnant. So let's talk about it at the end of this video, and please stay tuned. Please don't forget to subscribe.
News right now, Donald Trump's tariffs on China are impacting farmers the most, and many of them have buyer's remorse for even voting for Donald Trump in the first place. One of the top products that is tariffed is the U.S. soybean, and U.S. soybean exports, according to CNN, are now subject to a total tariff of 135% because of the 10% tariff imposed in March, along with the 125% tariff announced last week. If you recall, back in 2018, the winner of the first U.S.-China trade war wasn't U.S. farmers, but rather Brazil, because Brazil became the world's leading soybean exporter. And since then, exports to China have grown 280%, while U.S. exports have remained flat. Many soybean farmers in the Midwest actually voted for Donald Trump. They come from states that are red states that voted for Donald Trump consistently, both in 2016 and in 2024. And Trump had long promised exemptions or support for farmers, but they haven't received any bailouts just yet. And some are now even having buyer's remorse because their businesses are going to suffer because they can't export the number of soybeans that they were before. As always, I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
I can't tell you how brutal these tariffs are. I'm a small business. I sell travel and organization products. My brand sells to Nordstrom, Macy's, Anthropologie, and also my direct-to-consumer site. But I'm telling you, everything is so uncertain right now and scary, and some big opportunities that we're going to be kicking off are on hold. I'm just like, what is going to happen? I'm trying not to stress. I've been through over 20 years of business. What goes down comes up, what's up comes down, but this is just like absolutely unprecedented. So if you had your eye on any of my products, I tagged one here, check it out, because I might have to raise my prices and I can't imagine doing that. I don't want to do that. It's like a bad dream, and all I can do is just try and be optimistic, but damn. So support your small businesses right now. If you see something that you love, snatch it up because prices are going to be increasing. I'm a self-funded small business. This is my livelihood. This is my everything.
All right, folks, buckle up because it looks like some MAGA business owners are finally learning the hard way what F around and find out really means. Trump's latest tariffs are hitting them right in the wallet. Small importers and manufacturers, many of whom proudly back the man, are now choking on 10 to 40% global duties. Costs are exploding, supply chains are jammed, and customers are ghosting. I've been sifting through stories of collapsing revenues, laid off employees, and panicked CEOs who never saw it coming. Actions have consequences, and the receipts are rolling in. Let's check out more of these businesses that are leading to loss of money and loss of jobs.
I wish I had good news for everybody, but this is very, very serious. And we cannot trust the Trump administration's reports or data. Sorry, Caroline. Far from it. Here's what's going on with company layoffs and the economy. We already know American Axle is suing the Trump administration. They're an auto parts manufacturer because they say the tariffs are putting them out of business and they're getting ready to lay off a bunch of people. We already know that Ford and GM's profits were completely wiped out the second quarter because of tariffs. P&G will be cutting 7,000 white-collar jobs. When I go through the list of companies that are laying off, they all attribute it to decreased global sales and sales within the United States because of economic uncertainty due to the tariffs, and the increase in prices because they're producing parts that they have to charge more for, so people are buying less, all again thanks to tariffs. And also, a lot of these jobs are being replaced by AI. And I want you to remember that this big, beautiful bill put a provision in there for the next 10 years. Not one politician, nobody can touch AI. They can, whoever owns AI services, including Elon Musk, can do whatever they want without repercussions. So MAGA, I want you to keep all this in mind. So P&G is cutting 7,000 jobs. Special mention, Kentucky. Kentucky is getting ready to lose 23,000 jobs because their three leading bourbon producers have all filed for bankruptcy. A lot of it having to do with Canada being one of their lead countries that they export their products to that are no longer selling their products because of the tariffs. Let's see. Microsoft, 9,000 jobs. Meta, Google, Amazon's cloud computing arm. Intel, a microchip manufacturer, is laying off 10,000 employees. Zoom Info, Chegg, PwC, Chevron, Boeing, JP Morgan Chase, Cargill, Wells Fargo, Marriott, UPS, 20,000 jobs. Dell, Nissan, 11,000 jobs. Intel, Microsoft, HBC, DHL, BP, Bosch, Jaguar, Sarepta Therapeutics, Alaska Air, Indeed, and Glassdoor, which I find interesting. They post all the job openings, and I guess there just aren't as many job openings anymore. Procter & Gamble, 7,000 employees. Clark's, Allianz, Intel, 15,000 employees. Blue Diamond Growers, Walmart, CrowdStrike, IBM, MasterCard, Cisco, 7,000. They're a food supplier for schools and hospitals and restaurants and you name it. Stellantis, 2,450. Optum, part of United Healthcare. They have clinics in rural areas. They're going to be closing a bunch of their clinics, leaving a lot of people without a job. Mercury Marine, Intuit, NatWest, Ford. The list goes on and on. I just didn't want to sit there and spend the rest of my day writing it all. I am not including all the companies around the world that are also laying off because of Trump's tariffs. This has caused a worldwide economic dire situation. It's not just harming Americans anymore. And the numbers cannot be trusted from the administration. You can't trust their data, unemployment numbers, or what have you, because of falling survey responses. Unemployment numbers rely on surveys being submitted to the government. And there's big concern that companies that have already shut down or are MAGA supporting companies are not turning in their surveys that they lost jobs. They eliminated jobs, causing higher unemployment. Because of budget cuts and staffing shortages in this administration, and because the Trump administration disbanded the advisory committees that are there to confirm statistical accuracy of data coming out of the Trump administration. When we look at the unemployment rate and how Caroline Levitt and others portrayed as it's low, there's one number that's disturbingly high within that number, and that's the highest number to date. Over 25% of the jobs being occupied right now in the United States are leave those employees what's called functionally unemployed, meaning they make under $24,000, don't have any benefits. So they're essentially unemployed. They're in poverty. Over 25% of jobs in the United States are filled by people who are functionally unemployed because of how poor the pay is. And so that makes the unemployment rate look like it's great. There's so much more to the story. But MAGA, you're part of a lot of these layoffs for sure.
Many of us here in the US are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting. I know I made the mistake of checking my account. Trump's tariffs have had a huge, huge impact on the economy and will continue to do so. You know it's a bad sign when his former vice president, Mike Pence, is speaking out directly against these tariffs and warning that the average American will be losing $3,500 this year as a result of the tariffs. Do you know how many people voted for this administration without even understanding what a tariff is? But do you know who did explain it and did warn over and over? Kamala Harris. She spoke out directly against what is happening now. And yet, here we are.
So I just got back from a trip to China, and the second I landed there, the 125% tariffs were in effect. And this is everything that I learned while I was there about what the Chinese government is doing so that their companies can succeed. So first off, there's a central bank of China that allows their businesses to take loans out from the government at a really low rate, which allows companies to float and get manufacturing for companies in the US. And so what's happening right now with all these companies in the US with these tariffs scares the hell out of the small businesses just like mine, because they don't have the ability to pivot and have enough time to find other manufacturing or places to make their products. So for example, I'm happy to make my products somewhere else in America, but the thing is I just need time. And now I understand that Trump is using speed of all this stuff to, make China take action. But the real truth is it's hurting the small businesses in the US. And it's, the speed also puts pressure on Xi to make a decision and concede to the US for these trade negotiations. But it hurts the small businesses just like mine. So what China did to take a lot of power away from the US was the banks would float these small businesses and manufacturing plants to allow them to take business from the US and build this whole manufacturing conglomerate, massive industry within China. So what I'm asking for Trump to do is to float these small businesses just like us with low interest rate loans so we can find other ways to manufacture our products. So use their same playbook, but in the US. Because without it, there's going to be a lot of companies that die just because these tariffs are so strong. And the thing is like these tariffs are not going to be around forever. We all know that because somebody on either side is going to concede at some point. But while these negotiations are going on, if Trump wants to win, he needs to protect these small businesses just like mine.
Honest and fair question. What did you expect? What did you expect making a TikTok saying that you voted for Trump and now because of the tariffs, your business is going to go out of business and you're asking for people on TikTok to help you? I think what's sad for me is it wasn't the fact that he is a misogynistic, sexist, rapist who really has it out for women. That wasn't enough. It wasn't that he's racist and has spewed racist hate, Latino hate, African American hate. None of that mattered. Like, it didn't matter to you until your pocketbook, your bottom line was affected. So again, what did you expect? I mean, it was pretty brave of you to admit that and to come on and make a TikTok like that, but did you really expect for everyone on TikTok to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, here's a Cash App, here's some advice? No, you fucked around and now you're finding out. And it's not just that you voted for somebody and now your business is hurt, it's that you didn't fucking care until your business was hurt. That's the fucking issue. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. Love you, Slayers.
Today, I announced a lawsuit on behalf of the state of California suing the Trump administration. California is the largest manufacturing state in our union, one of the largest trading partners around the globe. No state will be impacted more than the state of California as it relates to the unilateral authority that's being asserted by the Trump administration to impose the largest tax increase in modern American history.
All right, guys, I didn't really want to have to get on here and do this, but I had to. These are fiberglass stakes right here. There's big, bulky stakes on the back of the truck, wooden stakes. I called 2 weeks ago to get a quote on these fiberglass stakes because we need some more stakes this year. I got a quote, 83 cents. I called the man this morning. I said, hey, I know these tariffs are crazy and everything going on. I said, what can you do me on those fiberglass stakes now if we needed a load? It's a 3-month ETA from time you place the order. He said, Taylor, he said, you don't want to hear this price and I'm about to give you. And I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those steaks now is going to be $1.74 a piece. And I said, well, you know, and I know both that we can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
I feel like the past 24 hours has just been a complete nightmare. 104% on imports coming from China. 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is done. I quit my corporate job about 1.5 years ago to chase my dreams. I designed and launched a kids fitness brand and it was going great. I paid fair wages. I built relationships. And then overnight, the cost just more than doubled. My margins were gone. You know, my business doesn't pay for a yacht or a private jet. It pays for our daughter's swim classes. It covers groceries. It China, 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is done. I quit my corporate job about 1.5 years ago to chase my dreams. I designed and launched a kids fitness brand and it was going great. I paid fair wages. I built relationships. And then overnight, the cost just more than doubled. My margins were gone. You know, my business doesn't pay for a yacht or a private jet. It pays for our daughter's swim classes. It covers groceries. It helps with babysitters for date nights. This isn't just numbers on a policy sheet. It's real people, real jobs, real families. And now I'm back at square one. So wish me luck.
for help. I'm not asking for any handouts, but I'm a small business owner that is directly being affected by the 104% tariff that has been put on China. I import alloy wheels for cars, and I do somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 containers a year, which is a small business in regards to this industry. At 104%, I am absolutely going to implode and will not last 6 months. So with that said, I'm asking, is there anybody out there that has connections with manufacturing facilities, specifically alloy wheels, either in the United States or outside in these lesser tariffed countries like Mexico, Indonesia, Thailand, India? I need to find another source. I've emailed a lot of these companies and cannot get a response. And I just don't know if it's because I'm a small business or what exactly it is. So if anybody's out there that can help or shed some light, maybe provide some information that would be helpful, I would really greatly appreciate it, because if not, it's just a small business here that's going to go under, and I'll be back to digging ditches again, which I'm not scared to do, but it's a little harder to do with a wife, 2 kids, and at 45 years old. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions. It's very much appreciated.
Guys, things are a lot worse than I actually thought it was. I just got finished looking at about 6 TikToks, and not just TikTok videos, but videos on other social media platforms about a lot of the American truck drivers, as far as like the semi-truck drivers who do the over-road driving, transporting goods from the ports to our local stores. A lot of the truck drivers are really hurt right now. I watched at least 3 videos where the truck drivers are saying just in this short amount of time with the tariffs going on that they have to actually sell their entire truck. A lot of those people pay at least $255,000 for the semi. So for those of you who don't know what those trucks cost, they cost around 200 and something thousand. One guy said the best offer that he got on the semi truck was $140,000, and the semi truck is actually a 2020, a 2020. That's just shy of 5 years old. So it's real out here when the truck drivers start speaking out about what's going on with them. They're experiencing a huge shortage where it comes to them being contractors, being contracted out to ship stuff for this company and ship stuff for that company. A lot of those guys that's even saying that selling their trucks, they're applying for local jobs where they can drive for a company. And they said a lot of those companies that ships products are actually laying their employees off. Or some of them are even cutting their employees' hours. So it's definitely real. Just seeing the videos like that just let me know just how serious things are, because these are people making videos that lives are really 100% being impacted by the tariffs. We would have never thought in a million years that putting tariffs on China and putting tariffs on these other countries would affect the United States so fast. I would have never thought that the impact would be so fast. The store shelves, a lot of the store shelves really are running empty right now. A lot of people are still using their overstocked products that they ordered from these companies, meaning that shipments are still coming in because they were ordered before the tariffs were implemented. And so they have to honor what's been implemented, basically like a contract type deal. So things are more serious than I thought it was, man. And like, if this is like only the 2nd day of May 2025, I mean, I hate to see what the 2nd and 3rd week of May is going to look like. And we are just in the 2nd day of May, and we're already seeing a humongous catastrophic breakdown of people already talking about losing their jobs when it comes to trucking and transporting food from one state to the next state. The ports are just really, it's bad. What's going on at the ports right now, it's bad. And you know what's really worse? A lot of those jobs are actually union jobs, and the union can't really do anything about that. They can't really override the president of the United States. So I wanted to just bring you guys that, man. That's really some heartbreaking, sad news, man. Thank you guys for watching.
Well, yeah, you heard it here. What we just saw is the real deal. Companies like VOS Selections and Microkits LLC are getting slammed under Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs. Wine importers and small electronics kit makers are finding it nearly impossible to plan ahead because the tariffs are unpredictable and their sales are dropping fast. Take VOS, for example. They import from several countries and have to post prices a month in advance, but the tariffs only apply when the goods actually arrive. That kind of delay is killing their cash flow. And smaller operations like microkits, they might not survive if costs keep climbing. And it's not just niche players feeling the heat. Automakers are getting crushed too. Detroit Axle reported their monthly tariff bill ballooning from $700,000 to over $7 million. Ford lost $800 million in just one quarter. GM and Tesla aren't immune either. They're feeling the pinch. Even luxury brands and Swiss watchmakers took a nosedive after news broke of 39% tariffs, with share prices tanking thanks to delayed exports and shocked consumers. Economists are sounding the alarm, warning that the ripple effects could be brutal. Factories are facing cost increases of up to 4.5%, with job cuts and wage stagnation looming. Consumers, they're bracing for higher prices on just about everything, from clothes and electronics to luxury goods and basic household items. As of August, the tariffs are now locked in, with some categories sitting at a staggering 35 to 39%. And here's the kicker. Many of the people losing their businesses voted for this. But even those who didn't are being dragged down with them. That's the harsh reality. Small businesses are bearing the brunt of political trade wars they never signed up for. Whether you support the reasoning behind these tariffs or not, the result is clear. Families are hurting, workers are being laid off, and entire communities are feeling the pressure. Because at the end of the day, this isn't some political scoreboard. These are real livelihoods caught in the crossfire. Well, yeah, there you go. While many people didn't vote for this, it's sad that some have to suffer alongside those that
No Epstein list! You're trying to tell me there's no Epstein?
All right, so in this video, we are literally seeing business people, they're complaining, they are literally crying, saying that the economy is not favorable to their business. They've been forced in one way or another to increase their prices. As a result, their customers right now, they're complaining they cannot afford some stuff. Why? Because the prices are so high. And if you look at the economy right now in America, things are not that good. A lot of people right now, they're losing their jobs. Others have been forced to get like 2 3 jobs in order to be able to afford to pay their bills, while others literally have been unable to get jobs because the demand of jobs is so high while the supply of jobs are very very few. So majority of people, some of them end up staying a couple of months, even years, not getting jobs, and then as a result they're not able to pay their bills because they have no income which is coming in. Yeah, so right now we are seeing there's a ripple effect across the board. But now in this video, we're only talking about small businesses complaining how these tariffs have affected them. Remember, America depends mostly on China to get their goods. The manufacturers are in China. America gets their goods in China. So when they are transported to America, of course, they sell to their customers. Remember the tariffs that people pay. I mean, the companies pay, the small business people pay. They usually transfer that cost to the consumer. So right now, if you go to the supermarket in America, you find prices have gone high. You find people are complaining about egg prices going high, food stuff going high, and other utility bills also gone high. Insurance bills have gone high. I mean, everything has gone high, and people are wondering what's going to happen next. And also, some people also say, as much as the prices have gone high, but their salaries have not increased. So right now, they're torn apart. They have to weigh whether to buy this or not. They have to weigh what is necessary and what is not necessary. They have to weigh which bill to pay and which bill not to pay. So sometimes people are being forced to use their credit card to pay for some stuff, and as a result, people are going to increase their debt. So this tariff policy, you are looking at, and it's really having a ripple effect. And that's the reason why people, when you're being told, please be careful who you choose when you're voting, these are the results. That's the reason why when people are in the government, they need to understand how somebody who is in the middle and the lower class, how are they surviving, so that you create policies that are going to benefit people from across all the board. Because right now, the people who are really benefiting in America are the big companies, the millionaires and the billionaires, who are literally benefiting as a result of the tax brackets or they've been given by the government. So let me know what you think about this video. Drop your comments, and please tell me how your business or how your salary has been affected. How are the goods in America? How are the prices? How are they affecting you as a person in living in America? Let me know what your thoughts are, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.